be talking about interviewing tips, and then I'm going to talk to you about some scholarship and internship opportunities as well. I also work for Nex-Tech, so I've been working for Nex-Tech for about 30 years. And so I'm going to share a little bit about some opportunities there as well. So raise of hands, are you guys all seniors, or some of you juniors, or what do we have? You guys said seniors. Senior? Okay, one junior, and okay, fantastic. So how many of you are getting ready to do some interviews? Okay, probably some big ones coming up, I'm sure at this point. And if you're a junior, you're probably just kind of going to start getting your feet wet into that, especially in the next year. So my goal is to give you guys some tips kind of that will help you out. Are you able to hear me okay, or do you want me to talk into this, whichever you prefer? Because I've really got a loud voice. What do you guys like? Use it? Don't use it? Whichever?
It's okay without.
Without? Okay. I'm going to shut it off because that way I have less in my hands to manipulate. So I'll keep talking loud, and if you need me to speak up, let me know, okay? So everybody should have a handout. If you didn't get one, let us know because we can give you another one. Hi, come on in. So one of the first questions I have about interviewing is, what is the purpose? Well, let's back up. What is the purpose of a resume? What do you think? If you're asked to produce a resume, what are you showcasing on that piece of paper? What do you think? Your skills. What else? Skills, job experience. Basically, what you're doing is you're selling yourself to somebody in a written format, right? The same thing you do on an application. So I'm able to get my foot in the door, hopefully to land a what? An interview, okay? Because the piece of paper is the first item that usually an employer or a scholarship review committee is going to use to make a judgment on you, right? Okay, so obviously you want to land an interview. So now what's the purpose of an interview? What do you think? What do you think?
So they get to know you outside of just paper.
That's right. They're getting to know your skills and abilities, but they're going to ask you a question so that we can have a face-to-face conversation and get to know the real you. Because I guarantee you, I mean, I'm a lot different perhaps on paper than I am perhaps face-to-face in real life. And for you, you're wanting to determine if you're a fit for whether it's that college or university, okay? Or obviously, you know, when you're getting ready to do a scholarship interview, you want to rise and shine above all the other candidates, okay? And you only have a short window of opportunity, okay? Sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's an hour, to really showcase that, all right? So I want you to think about that because you've got to take an opportunity when the chance comes, right? So if I have a 30-minute window to tell you all about myself, if you're the interviewers, okay, for me, I'm going to make sure that everything I tell you is what you need to know about me. And I'm going to make myself look good, okay? I'm not going to fake it. I'm going to tell you truthfully and honestly everything about it. So I want to walk through some tips. So the first one on here is to what? Research the company. Okay, so if I'm in an interview for a job, okay, I want to make sure I know where I'm interviewing. And how am I going to research it? How am I going to know a little bit more about that company that's getting ready to interview me? What do you think? Where should I do that? How should I do it?
Go to the website.
You could go to the website. Absolutely. Look around and don't just scan it, read about it. Go back to the about, look at history, look and see if they have a board of directors, look and see how they got started, what services or products they offer. Same thing with a college or university. If you're going to be doing scholarship interviews or something else with them, know something about them, not just that, hey, they're the such and such and this is their mascot, okay? Find out about some deep history about them, okay? Because guess what? You also need to start formulating questions that you might want to ask them, okay? It looks really super good for you to be prepared and have some history behind you that, hey, I noticed on your website this, right? Can you tell me more about that? And they're going to be like, oh, I absolutely can. Or really, I didn't notice that on there. Let me check on that, because they may be new to their organization also. But it's going to be extremely exciting for them to see that you've done your research. Okay? What's another way besides the website? Real quickly. What do you think? Yes?
Probably call the specific people who are offering the job.
Perfect. Call them, ask some questions. You could also stop in, by the way. Set up a time that you could go to that office, maybe have a tour. If you know people that work there, find out what the dress code is. Okay, big one. Find out what the expectations are. Is it a team environment? Are you one? You got to think about yourself a little bit. So you need to know, am I somebody who likes to work alone or in groups or a combination thereof? Because those are all things that you're going to have to kind of know, especially if this is a job interview. Okay? So research the company. If you're getting ready to do the Dane G. Hansen Scholarship interviews, I hope that you go out and do some research about who Dane G. Hansen was and the impact that his foundation is still making on the area. Okay? Yeah, bless you. Okay, know it. Okay, understand it. There's videos you can watch, all kinds of things. Okay? Practice. So the next one's to practice, and it says a couple things. To practice a handshake and some interview questions. We're going to work on the handshake real quick, and I know it's COVID, and if you don't want to, handshake, that's fine. But I want you to at least experience the reason behind a handshake. So if you're comfortable, may I? Okay. Hi.
Hi.
So one of the things that we're doing right now is we're making sure that we're in the pocket of the hand, okay? And we're going to have a nice, but we're not going to, if I were to hold on to you like this, you're already, she's making this face at me like, oh my gosh, let go of my hand, okay? So we've got to remember that there's a little bit of a space thing going on. In the United States, typically a 3-foot window is it, okay? So if I'm in that space too close to you too long, you're going to have a problem with it, okay? So for example, if I stand really like, oh my gosh, she's already making faces, and I guarantee in a little bit she's going to start moving your way, okay? And then you're going to do the same and so forth, because we're uncomfortable with that. But why the handshake? Why is it so important, do you think, in an interview situation to have a nice, firm but not bone-gripping handshake? What do you think? What am I displaying about myself? Confidence. Absolutely. And there's something else that you did really good, and that's this. What was it? Eye contact. A little smile. Okay? Everybody's nervous during an interview, okay? But you have to learn how to channel that energy into something positive, right? The interviewers know you're nervous. They probably woke up nervous too, honestly, okay? It's not something that we naturally just all love to do, okay? But make an effort. Now, are you any sweaty palmers? Any of you? Yes. Okay. So let's be honest. Sometimes we are a little bit sweaty and it's ooey and gooey, and we're like, okay, what do we do about that? Just, nope, don't worry about it. They're going to know you're probably nervous, and some of us have sweaty palms, okay? But we can still, kind of casually, sometimes we're cold-handed, whatever. What happens if I don't know what to look at? Let's say that someone has one eye, or a blemish, something else. What do we do? Should I stare them down? What do I do? What do you think? Should I look at the eye that's clearly a glass eye, or no? I look, we make contact, I look, and then I don't stare her down, I just look away, okay? So don't get excited about those kind of obstacles, okay? We'll come back to some interview questions here in just a couple of minutes. Okay, I want to talk real quickly about dressing for success, okay? Wear something nice, okay? The gentleman back here with the suit and tie, great. Please do that, all right? You want to make sure that you step at least 2 steps above whoever you're interviewing with, okay? Or regular people. So that means that ladies especially, we can make some really big errors. You want to make sure that you're covered up, okay, in an interview. In other words, wear a cami to not show your cleavage, okay? Things of that nature. You want to make sure that you're wearing a skirt or dress pants, something. But please stay away from the spandex pants, anything that looks like that you would typically wear even to school. You're remembering that you are competing for a job against other people. I also had a girl, though, that made a big mistake. She wore a skirt that, I kid you not, was really short when she walked in. So when she sat down, how short did it get? Very. Okay. She looked great on paper, but I guarantee it did not score well for her when she was wearing something that short. Okay. Guys, you're going to want to make sure that, again, if it's not a suit and tie, that you wear something at least comfortable. Okay. A nice dress shirt, khakis, dress pants. If you're going to a construction site, same thing. You could still wear really nice jeans, but for that day, I would go with khakis. Nice dress shirt, okay, just to make sure that you're a step above or 2 steps above, because this is your interview. You're selling yourself against somebody else, okay? Don't have anything in your mouth. Put your phone on silent. If you need to bring something in, like I know some of you may be doing graphic design and other things, you want to showcase something, let them know I'm going to bring this device in, but keep it off until it's time to showcase it. Okay, you can always go back out and get your phone or something else later. So let's talk a little bit about interview questions real quick, okay? So I'm going to go around and just shake your hand and ask you an interview question, but I'm going to tell you what I'm really looking for. So do you mind if I shake your hand? Hi, I'm Jackie. Nice to meet you. What class or project in school did you like the least and why?
I really didn't like the project in English just because I was not really good with grammar.
Okay. So she said, I really didn't like this project in English. So what I'd like you guys to do, it's not so much what you didn't like. I'm really looking for how you can turn something negative into a positive. Okay? So you might have said, I didn't like the project because of the focus on grammar. You could then add, however, what I learned from this was, okay? And then you can explain how you grew from that experience. Does that make sense? That's really, really important, because no matter what, they're helping determine whether you're a fit for something, right? They don't want to know, like if they said, who was your least favorite teacher? Do they really want to know somebody's name? What do you think they're looking for? Say it again. How you talk about them, because guess what? They don't want to hear that you're going to be bashing your supervisor or a coworker or saying negative about the company or the school, right? So they're wanting you to turn that into a positive experience. What about if I ask this? So, hi, I'm Jackie. You have the nice cold hands right there. Clammy. No, it's okay. Describe something that you have done that you're proud of.
I am in the process of doing an Eagle project, and I'm helping restore my grandpa's, like, a yard for him.
Cool, excellent. She started describing. She said she's working on an Eagle project, and then you started explaining that it was part of something that your grandpa had, and you're restoring it, etc. Okay? Describe. So listen to key words that they're asking you. Okay? What if they said, describe yourself in one word?
You put me on the spot here. Determined.
Very good. And you know what? I've actually heard that response, oh, you've put me on the spot here. Do you think it's okay to have a little phrase like that? It is. Or let me think about it just a moment. And what did you say the answer was?
Determined.
Determined. Now, if I asked you just for one word, do you think that you need to stop there? Determine, may I explain why? Okay? Because you might feel nervous, like, did they want me just to say one thing and not say anything else? Okay, but you can ask a question back. You can say, may I explain why? And absolutely, I want to know why you're determined. What if I walked out of here right now, the whole, as an interviewee, okay? So I'm being interviewed. I think I haven't hardly said anything. I'm out of here in 10 minutes. Do you think we've had a good interview? No. So I want to be able to describe what I'm talking about. Okay, that's really important. Excellent. Okay. Keep hitting that, sorry. Let me ask you a question. Hi, I'm Jackie. A nice grip, I like it. It's not a bone crusher either, it's just right. How often have you taken on extra credit projects?
Give me a moment to think about it.
I'm going to shut my alarm off. Keep going. Talk.
I believe it depends on the class that I would think would benefit me with extra credit.
Oh, awesome.
So, for example, computer information systems is a current credit class that we take here, and I completed an extra credit assignment because I believe it'll benefit me in the future.
Nice. And then you might describe, because I'll probably say, well, how? And if you can go on from excellent, excellent, very good. So I really want to know when I ask if you're, your willingness, are you willing to take on? And I love the way you really pared it down to how it would benefit yourself. You could also say how it would benefit the company or the organization. That's how you would determine that. Excellent, excellent. So the most important thing on interview questions, you guys, is to make sure you're thinking in terms of practice. Okay, you want to practice interviewing questions. You want to think about questions that they probably are going to ask you, and not have just I'm going to say a canned response. You want to make sure that you're kind of sitting down and what might they ask me about myself? Some of my qualities and experiences, because not everyone is going to will have reviewed your resume, okay? Sometimes interview teams are different from the ones that actually got your resume, like in human resources or something. Does that make sense? Okay, so I want to tell you guys about a few other opportunities since I only have you for about not quite 10 minutes, okay, more. So let's talk a little bit about, well, first of all, do you have any other questions that you wanted to ask me about interviewing? I do have one that I've got that I want to make sure that I ask. And it's actually the question that I just asked. If I ask you, do you have any questions for me? What did you all just do? Okay, in a real interview situation, that is a question that you need to answer. Okay, so be thinking ahead of a question or two that you can ask that interviewer. Okay, it can be about themselves, it can be about the business, it can be about the scholarship, it can be about the organization, but you need to have prepared, because the worst thing you can do, if let's say that question's worth 10 points, what did you just do? You lost 10 points because you said, nope, I think you covered it. Okay, does that make sense? All right, okay, real quickly then. Some other opportunities. So at Nex-Tech, today actually is the last day to sign up for, if you're interested in NCK technology. So if you're thinking about going to NCK Tech this coming fall and you've enrolled at NCK Tech, I don't know if that applies to any of you or your friends, you might share with them. Nex-Tech is now starting something new. They're sponsoring students to go through NCK Tech's IT or telecommunications programs. And so we will take, I think, up to 2 students per year, possibly more in the future. And we actually cover their tuition and books. And if they agree to stay on with us for 4 years after they have graduated, in other words, that's part of it, is they have to hire on with us, we actually pick up housing as well. So that's kind of exciting from Nex-Tech. Also, you have opportunities for the Break the Rules scholarship. Have any of you, just kind of show of hands, heard of that or applied? Okay. So Break the Rules allows you to showcase your career path in whatever method you want to. It's that open. You don't have to just write an essay. You could do a video. We love videos, by the way. PowerPoint, whatever it is. That is due February 4th. So that's coming right up also this week. So if you haven't started on that, I recommend you seniors to get that done. We will have 10 $1,000 scholarships in all. And I know we've had some from Hayes High in the past. We have 2 national opportunities. The Foundation for Rural Service Scholarship, or FRS Scholarship, is coming up due February 25th. They have between $2,500 and $7,000. I think there's over $100,000 in scholarships nationwide. We have had some successful applicants from the Nex-Tech, because Nex-Tech is part of the Foundation for Rural Service, one of the members. We're able to help basically do a little bit of a matching contribution to that, and we've had some success. If you know of anybody who's going to be a first-year law school student this fall, they actually have one designated scholarship just for that. So, which is pretty exciting. The youth tour to Washington, D.C. for the Foundation of Rural Service that Nex-Tech helps sponsor, we actually pay 100% of the cost. That's for students that will be age 16 or 17 coming up in June. It's still going on, and at this time, they have not told us any different. A while back, they said that they were going to require that students be vaccinated. That could change. So if anybody wants to apply to that and you know of their interest, even if it's you, vaccinated or unvaccinated, please go ahead and apply. March 7th is the deadline on that. Nex-Generation, the student internships. We have almost 150 positions available this year. It's amazing. Matter of fact, I think by the end of this week we will have 150. And that was our goal. We're across 28 counties. Some of those positions are in Hayes. Nex-Tech alone has, I think, 9 positions. I have one for students who want to work with youth services. We said Hill City or Lenora. With the right candidate, I might be able to even do something remotely. So you might take a look at that. Those are paid internships. You have to get paid at least $12 an hour by the employer. So check that out on next-generation.org. And we're also on the connectnwk.org website. So if you haven't looked at those, you need to. Okay, you need to look. So internships, March 1 is the deadline. March 1. Okay, so please don't wait till March 1. I know employers are already starting to make selections, okay? As applications come in, they can start vetting those. They make the decisions, Nex-Gen does not. Does that make sense? So we've had quite a few. We've had several Hayes High students who have been in the past as well. So please take that opportunity, okay? What kind of questions can I answer for you? Anything? Yes?
If you're late to an interview because the world is full of surprises and good and bad, what would be the first thing you would say?
The first thing I would say is before I'm late, I'm going to call there and say, I'm going to be late. Okay? I'm going to apologize. I apologize again for my lateness. You can, even when you're calling in, the best thing I would say is this still a good time for you? Do I need to, reschedule? Hopefully you will never have the position where you'll be late, but I do know things do come up. I will recommend 100 times over the 10 or 15 minute rule. I have a 10-minute rule on there. You've got to give yourself leeway. My daughter and I were just talking about this. You at least need to plan 15 minutes or 20 minutes just for road things, okay? We were just talking about snow, right? And distance and those kind of things. But there's road construction, there's flat tires, there's all kinds of things. You need to plan ahead for that, okay? So that means that I'm going to take care of, if I'm already working for another employer, or I've got to talk to my teachers about getting out of school early, things of that nature, that's what I plan ahead, okay? So you're better off, honestly, planning for that and giving yourself a nice buffer of time. Think about travel and distance. Also, if you're having to go, 2 or 3 hours away for an interview, or they're flying you in, or whatever it happens to be, plan for that also. Okay. Good question. Excellent. Anything else? All right. My phone. Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
You're fine. Let me shut this off so that it doesn't go off again. Go for it.
What if on your way to the interview you just mess up your clothes?
Messing up your clothes. There isn't too much you can do about that unless you plan ahead and put an extra shirt in. Okay? You could throw in an extra clothes. I've done it for presentations before because I drink coffee sometimes on my way, and I do a lot of miles. Okay? And you never know when something like that, especially if you eat in the car, those kind of things. So have an extra blouse or shirt or tie or something else, okay, available so that you can do a swap out. Reminds me of movies where all of a sudden somebody's, got something all over themselves, and what do you do next? Good questions. Okay, yes?
For the dating as an interview, would you recommend bringing references?
I do. Matter of fact, I recommend you never put references available upon request on anything, because guess what? Your next guy over here that just has applied, he's got them all. You're creating a little obstacle for the interviewers when they have to contact you back and say, I need your references. So have them available.
Does that mean a letter, or just their name and a number?
At least name and number. If you have letters of support from them, letters of reference, by all means have them available. Okay? And plan for a few extras. In the case of Dane G. Hansen, I guarantee you're going to be in front of a panel of people. Don't let that get you excited. They're for you. Okay? They love giving out money. But just be prepared. Have 5, 10 extra copies, just so that you have them available. Okay?
So we need to bring 5 to 10 resumes?
I recommend it. I have at least 2 or 3. I said extras there. But if you know you're going in front of a panel, and if you don't know, ask and get their names. All of that's on there for you guys to kind of go back and look at. But find out who you're going to be interviewing with, and then ask for them by name when you arrive. Okay. The Hansen, they're looking for you. They know you're coming, but some places don't. And if you just say John, there's probably 16 Johns. Know who it is by first and last name. Okay. Excellent job, everybody.
I want to say,
Yeah.
several of you will be going for the interview, Dane Hansen. One thing that they do is they think about what you put down in your personal essay. They will have pulled information from that before. Make sure if you declare a major, what you want to do, make sure you research that, because they will ask you about that. The third thing that they've done in the past is your references that you've gotten from your recommenders. If there's something in there, they're going to start quizzing you on that. They may try to upset you to get you to think. You got to think on your feet. They may say something to try to offend you that you have to, because that's happened before too. Another question that's come up is, how can we remember you? And I remember having a student at TMP who did a show act for them. So
that's awesome.
Anything that you can do so that they will specifically remember you. But those are the questions that have come up in the past on the interviews. So hopefully that will help you.